Hello and welcome to Weekend File on the NTA. We are live in Abuja. In the modern era, rail development in Nigeria has received massive attention under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari, far more than any other previous administration. In fact, before 2016, there was no operational standard gauge railway in the entire West African sub-region until the birth of the Abuja-Kaduna standard gauge rail in July 2016. The pioneer standard gauge operation in West Africa, which carries an average of 2,000 passengers every day, transporting 900,000 passengers in the first 2 years of operation, while providing 600 direct jobs since inception. Today, the Abuja-Kaduna railway line operates an e-ticketing platform for easy access to commuters. The Lagos-Ibadan railway project, which is over 95% completion, is presently on test run and is projected to provide efficient solution to the Lagos seaport logjam, with 24 coaches estimated to run 16 trips daily. And still at that axis, the Lagos-Kano train service is back on track after initial hitches in 2018. By June 2022, commuters will be able to move from Marina to Mile 2 by rail as work is ongoing at the 27 kilometers blue line of Lagos rail that will run from Marina to Okokomaiko. The Itape Warri rail line, fully functional, is a 326 kilometer single track standard gauge railway with 90% coverage in the Niger Delta and 2 communities in Kogi State, Itape and Ajokuta. Plans to extend the rail line to Warri Seaport Aron, plus an extension from Itape to Abuja. It is largely expected that the Port Harcourt-Maiduguri rail line construction will commence in earnest. The Abuja Light Rail Project, which has about 10 additional stations added to the metro stations, boards every 30 minutes. Another milestone is the commencement of the Kano-Maradi rail line, with lots of benefits for Nigeria, Niger Republic and other countries in the landlocked region. Rail development in Nigeria today has equally benefited a good number of students who have undergone government-sponsored overseas studies and training in railway engineering, even as some universities of transportation are about to spring up in some quarters. And what about Kajola in Ogun State, where the China Civil Engineering Construction Corporation, CCECC, is building a rolling stock assembly plant to promote Nigeria's railway modernization project? Indeed, the narrative about rail development in Nigeria has changed for the better, with brighter prospects for the future. Do stay with us on Weekend File tonight as we dwell on rail development in Nigeria with our guests, Fidet Okiria, Managing Director, Nigeria Railway Corporation, and Roland Ocholi Ataguba, Transportation Consultant. I am Kenen Ima Abodike. The news now. The National Security Advisor, Major General Babagana Monguno, has convened a high-profile security meeting with all the service chiefs and heads of security agencies under the auspices of General Security Appraisal Committee to stem the tide of further breach to national security. A statement from the Office of the National Security Advisor says the meeting resolved to strengthen interagencies coordination to find lasting solution to insecurity in the country. The Office of the National Security Advisor is also to collaborate with the 3 tiers and arms of government to comprehensively review security situation and adopt measures in containing rising tensions. As pragmatic measure, the committee also planned to convene a security town hall meeting across geopolitical spread to work closely with communities in restoring peace and confidence in the fight against crimes and criminality. Still on security matters, following violent clashes between rival groups reported in Shasha Market in Ibadan, the Oyo State government has ordered the immediate closure of the market indefinitely. A statement by the Chief Press Secretary to Governor Seyi Makinde Taiwo Adisa indicates that the governor gave the order to forestall breakdown of law and order in the area and equally imposed a curfew from 6 p.m. to 7 a.m. In the meantime, 40 protesters arrested at Lekki toll gate this Saturday have been arraigned by the police before a mobile court in Lagos. They were arraigned on a 3-count charge bordering on conspiracy to breach of public peace and violation of COVID-19 quarantine law of the federal government. Admiral reports.
The protesters, 40 in all, were led before a mobile court headed by Magistrate Lateef Layeni to face a 3-count charge bordering on conspiracy to breach public peace, conduct likely to harass and cause panic, and violation of COVID-19 quarantine law preferred against them by the police. Counsel to the police, Kadozo Yetunde, told the court that the accused acted in contravention of sections 412 and 158 of the state criminal laws when they converged at Lekki toll gate for another round of protest. All the accused pleaded not guilty. Oral application for bail brought by their counsel, Additional Ogunlana, was granted by the magistrate, who put bail in the sum of 100,000 naira and a surety in like sum for each of the accused. They are also expected to produce a COVID-19 test result at the adjourned date fixed for March 2, 2021. In Lagos, Admiral, NTA News.
A public-private partnership infrastructure company. But before we go that, let's quickly go to Lagos and join Abolade Salami at the Lekki toll gate. Abolade, can you hear me, please?
I can hear you loud and clear.
Tell us what is happening there at the moment, Abolade.
Okay, I can confirm to you that Lekki Toll Plaza is devoid of any form of gathering. It is a jolly ride. If you can see from my left, vehicles are having it so smooth. Vehicles coming in from the mainland, going into Lekki proper, are having it smooth. Same also applies to vehicles leaving Lekki axis and going to the mainland. They're having a jolly ride. We have the presence of security personnel here on ground who are here to maintain law and order. It is calm and peaceful on this spot. Everybody are moving in and out without any form of hindrance.
So what is likely to happen between now and tomorrow at that same environment?
Yes, we are expecting and all believing that this that we saw today is still going to be maintained tomorrow. The security personnel said it will be here to ensure that there's no breach to law and order on this spot and Lekki corridor, that they will be here. So we expect that NTA's youth protesters would not want to come here. But the few ones who were trying to regroup earlier in the day were dispersed by the police, while those that were arrested were taken away for violating the state government directive.
Thank you, Abolade. Thanks indeed. Let's quickly tell you that a public-private partnership infrastructure company named Infraco with an initial seed capital of 1 trillion naira has been established by the federal government. It is expected that over time the entity will grow to 15 trillion naira in assets and capital. The company will be one of the premier infrastructure finance entities in Africa and will be wholly dedicated to Nigeria's infrastructural development. So, joining me to explain on the rationale behind the setting of this company is the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs, Anjuri Ingelali. Thanks for coming on Weekend File.
Indeed, a great privilege to be with you.
Let Nigerians know exactly what they need to know very briefly about this company.
Well, Infraco is a very critical initiative of the federal government of Nigeria to ensure that we can, in an expeditious fashion, enhance quite substantially the nation's infrastructure stock. Obviously, it's no secret at this point that after decades of neglect of our infrastructure, there's need to really push very hard to ensure that we can get as much on the ground as possible. And of course, no administration in the history of the country has put in place as much as President Muhammadu Buhari has over the course of the last next 5 years. I think if you look very critically at the role that the private sector has been playing under this administration in the partnership with this administration to provide critical infrastructure, you would see that, for example, with the road, the Presidential Executive Order 007, which is the road refurbishment tax credit initiative, which has led to the construction of the Boni-Bodo road, complete with bridges linking NLNG of Bonny Island to the mainland for the first time in the country's history, which will obviously facilitate the road transportation of gas products and etc. We're seeing it even in Lagos, where we have the Apapa or Oronshoki toll gate road being constructed in partnership with Dangote Construction Company. And then, of course, separate from Executive Order 007 in the scheme there, we also have the Presidential Infrastructure Development Fund, another innovative initiative which has put in place the second Niger Bridge in the southeast, which is obviously at over 50% set to be completed in 2022. The Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in the west, which is set to be completed in 2022. And then, of course, the Abuja-Kaduna-Zaria-Kano Expressway set to be completed before the expiration of this administration in 2023. So there is a history under this administration in partnering with the private sector. And I think even if you look at the Sukuk bonds that have been taken out, you would see that there was a massive oversubscription due to the great interest by the private sector in investing in Nigeria's public infrastructure, understanding that an investment in Nigerian public infrastructure is going to recoup significant returns on the investment in terms of when you're looking at tolling and you're looking at some of the other opportunities. The same can be said for aviation. Look at all of the airports that have come up, the new international airports that are coming up during the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari. We're currently at a very critical stage of concessioning those to very professional, reputable concessionaires, unlike what we've had obtainable in the history of this country. So there's really quite a lot to look forward to.
Okay.
If you look at Infraco, this is in effect an entity that is going to join hands between, of course, the Nigeria Sovereign Investment Authority, the Central Bank of Nigeria as the central partner, and then, of course, the Africa Finance Corporation to mobilize private assets up to the tune of about 15 trillion naira over the next several years to invest in critical infrastructure, not just roads and bridge, airports and seaports, but also oil and gas infrastructure, pipelines, power plants, and other critical infrastructure, so that as the African Continental Free Trade Agreement is being implemented, our investors coming in from overseas understand that they're dealing with a country that's serious about providing infrastructure, reducing the cost of production, and putting us in a position to benefit wholly from that arrangement.
All right. Thank you very much. Ajuri Ngalali, Senior Special Assistant to the President on Public Affairs. Thanks for your time.
A privilege. Thank you.
Kellogg's Tolaram Nigeria, producers of Kellogg's Cocoa Pops, Kellogg's Cornflakes, as well as Kellogg's Boons and Stars, have rewarded 100 primary school pupils across Nigeria with scholarships of 100,000 naira each. Hengino John Adams reports that the event is the second edition.
When you wake up in the morning before you start your day. It was a reward for exhibition of excellent writing skills, an indication that Kellogg's Tolaram Nigeria is not only interested in making profit. The company is also determined to contribute to the development of education in Nigeria. That is why it organizes essay competitions annually to encourage pupils to develop literary prowess. With this year's theme, Why My Mom is a Super Mom, Kellogg's Tolaram Nigeria identified some geniuses.
What can we give back to the kids? That's the motivation. How we can bring these kids closer, make them brand ambassadors, put loyalty in the brand loyalty in their mind. And you agree with me, when you go outside, Kellogg's is a household name for kids. When you say Kellogg's, they go with it.
And as a brand, I want to commend them for reaching out to 100 pupils, helping them to improve their writing skills. Basic literacy is what is most important for the infancy and adolescent stages of youth development.
Esther Uche is among the 100 lucky super kids out of 45,000 entries submitted.
I mostly spend my time on writing stories and writing books, and they just inspired me to go for it.
This program has impacted so well on the Nigerian child.
As Kellogg's Tolaram Nigeria continues to ensure healthy living through its products, management of the company says they will continue to come up with programs that will benefit the populace as their corporate social responsibility. In Lagos, Hinginojan Adams, NTA News.
Despite the intimidating and somewhat takeover mission of modern-day technology, radio as a medium of mass communication is even gaining more currency to the extent that the 13th February every year is celebrated as the World Radio Day. Abdullahi Ajia reminds us of some of the great strides.
UNESCO General Conference at its 36th session proclaimed World Radio Day on February 13 in 2011 and was later endorsed by the United Nations General Assembly. The day was meant to remember the unique power of the radio to touch lives and bringing people together across every corner of the globe. The radio is regarded as much more than a forum for information and entertainment. It is believed to have more reach than any other medium of mass communication.
Since the advent of radio, I think up to now, even in the digital age, I think it's still something that cannot be rivaled in terms of its compatibility, in terms of its usefulness.
Nobody, nowhere in the world could describe what radio had done in the development of man, nature, and education.
The global observance of the World Radio Day is aimed at creating awareness in the minds of the people, especially those in remote communities, developing regions, and vulnerable populations. The 2021 World Radio Day has the theme New World, New Radio, which is coming as a result of the services the medium provided during the COVID-19 pandemic.
More than 50 shops have been razed by fire at Bababa Plaza in Wunti Market in Bauchi State. Maria Babala reports that though the life was lost, the cause of the incident is not known.
The inferno occurred at 11 p.m. Friday night, with goods in all the shops burnt to ashes. Despite efforts by individuals and fire service to quench the fire, 56 shops were engulfed, with those occupying the shops calling for government intervention.
A disaster of this magnitude has never happened to us in this market.
Over 90% of all these shops were destroyed because the incident
Men of the State Emergency Management Agency Bauchi have visited the scene of the inferno to ascertain the level of damage.
Our office, State Emergency Management Agency, to sympathize with the marketers so that they will be given assistance.
The agency assured that relief materials will soon be provided to victims of the fire. In Bauchi, Maria Mubala, NTA News.
As many set to celebrate the 2021 Valentine's Day, the Federal Road Safety Corps is advising motorists to avoid overspeeding and drunk driving. FRSC Corps Marshal Boboye Oyemi has therefore directed commanding officers across board to double their efforts by ensuring massive deployment of officers and men for enhanced visibility, adequate traffic control, and maximum enforcement of all COVID-19 protocols amongst motorists. We go at a quick break on Weekend File. We will be back shortly.
Lẹ́yìn tí mo ti jáde ní ilé ìwé varsity, èmi ò ríṣẹ́ ṣe o. Ọpẹ́lọpẹ́ ìjọba Muhammadu Buhari tó fi ètò Empower kalẹ̀ fún mi.
On January 23rd, 2019,
Nigerian President Muhammadu Buhari signed into law the Discrimination Against Persons with Disabilities Provision Act.
Oge matara atụmatụ gọọmenti n'ihe gbasara ngalaba ọrụ egwuregwu.
Ina mika godiya ta musamman ga mai girma shugaban kasa Alhaji Muhammadu Buhari.
Lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ báyìí, oníṣòwò ńlá ni mí.
As a person with disability,
as a youth,
as a woman, the fact remains that we cannot live our lives independent of government policies.
Get involved.
Get involved by registering to join APC.
I am Governor Abelo of Kogi State, Chairman, Youth, Women and People Living with Disabilities Mobilization and Sensitization Committee of the APC Membership Registration and Revalidation Exercise 2021, and I approve this message.
John, you can use our toilet now.
Ew! My mommy said I should always use a toilet that is cleaned with Hypo toilet cleaner. James will bite my bone bone.
John, what's the problem? Use Hypo Toilet Cleaner. Introducing the new and affordable Hypo Toilet Cleaner. Kills germs and deodorizes your toilet.
Hypo, Hypo. Mimi, where's your mommy?
A major part of being a parent is being present.
I struck out, and the winner is Mimi Idris.
Stay in the picture and be the parent you want to be. Call 0700 AXA Mansard today to speak to an AXA financial advisor.
The second wave of the coronavirus COVID-19 pandemic is upon us.
To safeguard lives of our people, government has signed the health protection regulations, which makes wearing a face mask mandatory in public places.
Wear a mask. Keep social and physical distancing. Avoid crowded places. Wash your hands regularly with soap and clean water. And use hand sanitizer.
COVID-19 is real. Do not be infected. Do not spread it. This message is brought to you by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA.
Nigerian youths are about the greatest assets the country has at the moment. It is therefore not surprising that the administration of President Muhammadu Buhari is strategically responding to the yearnings of the youth through multiple projects and programs. Youth Entrepreneurship Support Years by Bank of Industry, the Youth Investment Fund by the CBN, and several other conditional cash transfer programs. Recruitment of 774,000 social workers, majority of whom are youths, and so many other projects that are beneficial to youths directly or indirectly. If the administration can do all this, definitely with a degree of patience and time, it can achieve more. Nigerian youths must come together to say no to terrorism, no to vandalism, and no to all disruptive tendencies. Hashtag Youth for Greater Nigeria. Pacifying the youths, unifying the nation.
Welcome back to Weekend File. Talking about train services, then the Lagos-Ibadan route is the best spot to take off from, and Michael Olaleye was right on time to update us on the impact it's currently having on mobility and business opportunities despite awaiting inauguration.
The laying of tracks linking Apapa Post to the 156 kilometers Lagos-Ibadan rail line is a done deal, and the contractor handling the project is making frantic efforts to deliver the 10 train stations along the corridor without any delay. This is the symbol of the new face of rail transportation in Nigeria, a 6,000 capacity train station expected to handle the volume of trade along the axis. Despite ongoing construction, there is an increase in passengers traffic.
By and by, people will travel more by train and less stress, which we experience on the road. I think Nigerians are in for a wonderful, wonderful time.
It is a breath of fresh air for commuters in the axis who have developed a preference for rail transportation, while the once hidden opportunities along the axis have started to manifest.
Making it possible to have a very easy means of transportation from Ibadan to Lagos means that people can live somewhere else and come to work in Lagos.
My brother is a farmer as well. He moves his things from Oyo State to Lagos. So I think, the introduction of the train will make things a lot more easier for him.
It will open a whole new opportunity for business for Nigerians along that line.
Despite the current running of just 2 round trips between Ibadan and Lagos per day, the Nigerian Railway Corporation is not compromising security.
police, civil defense, and manpower on the train. There hasn't been any case of us having to need them, but we still put them on the train.
The rail transportation in Nigeria, as experienced along the Lagos-Ibadan corridor, is creating more opportunities for businesses to thrive. And once this trend is sustained, the Nigerian economy is bound for trajectory growth. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
And in the south, Austin Edumodu in Asaba reports that having the Warri rail line in the 2021 budget excites the people in the affected areas.
Barely 5 months of the inauguration of the Warri-Itakpe commercial rail line, there has been an upsurge of passengers patronizing the train services on a daily basis.
I've actually read on WhatsApp the experience of somebody who boarded it from Warri to Itakpe. I say, okay, let me try it this morning because I'm going to Bauchi, so I'm going to drop by. I'm going to board there. From there, I'll now take a taxi to Bauchi. From what I've seen so far, it look good, and I hope they will again improve on it.
My babies are comfortable. I guess they're enjoying themselves.
The Warri-Itakpe line started with 4 coaches containing an average of 26 passengers per coach. Recently, there has been additional 2 new coaches due to the increase in the number of passengers. Since the inauguration of the railway station in September last year by President Muhammadu Buhari, the number of passengers patronizing the Warri-Itakpe line has hit more than 2,000.
Because I took train from Warri to Agboye, it was quite, it was okay. I think I enjoyed my journey. It's far better than using the bus, and the convenience there was very, very okay and satisfactory to me.
In short, we the community entire are impressed. It is a laudable project. I know it will boost economic in this area and even in Nigeria as a whole.
It's been very nice and very interesting. The people loved it, and we have a good patronage.
For now, the Warri-Itakpe commercial train line offers services from Warri to Agbo, across other substations in Uromi, Aganegbode, Ibanke, Adogo to Itakpe in Kogi State. I'm Austin Edumodu, NTA News.
And let's take you to the latest rail site. The Kano-Maradi line that connects Nigeria and Niger Republic. Mohammed Rabiu Ali in Kano reports that the business-minded people in the commercial city of Kano are already warming up to take advantage of the opportunities therein.
Kano, as commercial nerve center of West Africa, stands better chance of benefiting from the extension of rail line to Maradi in Niger Republic. Available records shows that between 50 and 100 people from Niger Republic transact various businesses daily in Kano. Therefore, Kano will serve as a melting point for the integration of the economy between the two countries through rail system.
For example, movement of cattle, which has usually been done, through the unauthorized routes. Now with the rail line, I think everything can be done accountably.
Other issues raised by stakeholders is that the two countries can establish a common market arrangement that will facilitate import and export-free rail linkages.
A person could wake up in Maradi, for instance, today at this point, get online, make an order, pay for it, and within the next couple of hours, when the rail line becomes operational, it is delivered in Maradi. So Nigeria will benefit from it. We have a larger population. We have things that we can share with the Niger Republic, and what Niger Republic can benefit from us and what we can benefit from them.
They believe that the rail system, which will reroute Kano, Katsina, Jibia to Maradi in Niger Republic, when completed, will bring about cheap labor, economic integration, and create job opportunities not only for the teeming populace of Nigeria, but ECOWAS member states. Mohammed Rabiu Ali, NTA News.
Time to join our guests. Philip Okiria, Managing Director, Nigeria Railway Corporation. He will be joining us via Zoom, while Roland Ocholi Ataguba, Transportation Consultant, is right here with me in the studio. But let's begin with the MD of Nigeria Railway Corporation, Mr. Okiria. Of course, It's good old days back again. Nigerians are beginning to enjoy rail services across the nation, especially in Lagos, Kaduna, now Itakpe to Abuja and the rest of them. And you are the man overseeing these laudable achievements right about now. What exactly are we looking at, maybe say in the next 5 years, because a lot of people would want to see more, and then of course there is sustainability of the rail system in our country. What are you doing about that?
Good evening and good evening, Nigeria. It's a pleasure to be with you once more. I will say we thank God it's happening in our lifetime. And we have the government that have the will and the interest of having infrastructure developed in Nigeria, not just only the rail sector. As you have said, the Itakpe Warri is operating. We are still operating and monitoring the growth of passengers. The Lagos-Ibadan, because we are still working running operation under caution, because the transit company is still working on the station and the signaling and still moving some construction material to finish their purpose. While the Abuja Kaduna has come to stay, and by 13 September, when the e-ticketing was fully deployed, the pressure has come down.
All right, we're said to be losing contact with Okiria via Zoom, but let's come back to Roland Ataguba, the railway consultant. You've seen the should I use the word proliferation at the moment? But then we have seen these rail lines operating across board. In fact, we are also expecting the completion of construction of some of them. And now the big one, the one between Kano to Maradi. Now, a lot of people are beginning to wonder, do we, look at it from the point of view that because these things weren't there in the past, we shouldn't look beyond what we're seeing now? Because if you go to other climes, you see that there is railway system robustly functioning. That's exactly where this government and indeed Nigerians are heading to. How do we get there?
Well, thank you and good evening. Very, very important questions you've raised. And I think it was in your opening remark when you talked about sustainability. And that has been the Achilles heel of our railway system. We have not managed to sustain its operations, and that's where the failings are. And we're still not addressing them yet. It's all well and good to build infrastructure, and we are doing very well in doing those, and kudos to all involved. But notwithstanding, we're not dealing with what has caused the decay in the first place, and that's the failures in operations. There are structural problems, such as the structure of the industry. We're still with an anachronistic system. We're still running railways under a 1955 law. There is a consensus that the law needs to change. We need to broaden the space. We need to attract subnational governments to invest in railways. We need to get private sector expertise and resources into the railways. And as long as only the federal government is shouldering that burden in the face of rivalry from other sectors for which it has obligations in health, in law and order and so on, security, it is a big challenge. And therefore, widening this pool of resources is an imperative. We all agreed it needs to happen, but it's not happening. And while we delay, the facilities, these new facilities we're building may eventually get run down again. So we'll be back to square one in another 5 to 10 years. We don't want that to happen, and that is why it is imperative that the institutional changes, the reform of the NRC,
so that others can come in.
Absolutely.
Into the business.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see if Philip Okiria can get back to us, get back into this discussion tonight on Weekend Val. If you can hear me, Okiria, you heard what the railway consultant is talking about. It is time to let other people come into the business of a rail system in Nigeria. You were, before we lost contact with you, you were telling us about what is likely going to happen in the next 5 years to ensure that we are maintaining and sustaining this wonderful thing happening to the rail system in Nigeria, but also look towards the angle of allowing people, others, to come into it. The more, the merrier, they say.
It's my friend, and we've been all years talking about how to resolve this issue of freeway development. I don't believe in just talking for talking's sake. As Roland, it's good to say we are amending the laws and trying to create an enabling environment. And the government we have now are willing to create the enabling environment. I have challenged him to come with those people who want to invest or construct railway, and I will take them. The Railway Act has provided that portion. That's how the Lagos State, the Cross River States, were able to build their rail and operate. They relied on that portion of the Act that allows state individuals to come in. And laws are made for men, and they can always be used to the advantage of both the person who wants to invest and to the government and to the people of Nigeria. So it's no use just talking about how he said in the book without trying to realize it as it's to benefit the people. Any person you see that want to invest in railway, you're bringing or that want to construct some, let's say 100 kilometers or 1,000 kilometers at a cost that is better than what we are doing. I've talked with the minister. He said, even if I'm in my bedroom, just come in with the person in my personal house, not only in the office. We will encourage them. The law that will govern that is the contract that you have signed. The contract will spell out the obligations of government and the obligation of the investor. And that there's nothing in the Constitution that says nobody can invest in the rail industry. It's not there. So, but when people want to say sweet things, they talk about law, then you bring, after people crave money, you talk about how to amend it, then that one is gone, you come back again. I'm a practical person, and I believe if we have the interest of the country, we should please try and encourage people to come in and invest. People will be preaching. People can buy their rolling stock and operate and carry loads. I will give them the passage of track and even things that will make them at least not just to their so that both the person buying it, the Nigerian public, and the industry in Nigeria can grow.
Okay. So, all right, Mr. Okiria, we will hear more from you in the course of this discussion tonight. At the moment, let's quickly go on another break. We'll be back soon. Do stay.
Hey guys, making music for you is so easy for me to do. But you know what else is super easy to do? Linking your NIN to your Glow line by dialing *109*NIN#. Or I can call 109 from my Glow line and follow the instructions. And if I don't want to call, I can text my NIN to 109. I can even visit glowworld.com/NIN. And what if you've forgotten your NIN? All you have to do is dial *346# and Glow will help you remember it. Someone may ask, what if I haven't registered? All you have to do is go into the nearest Glow World and we'll help you register. It's that easy. So don't get disconnected from all of the amazing voice and data offers from Glow. Linking your NIN to your Glow lines is simple, safe, and 100% free with zero hassles.
This is the Wilson family last week. This is the Wilson family this week. What's changed? What? The Wilson family got maximum entertainment for less, and now they're closer than ever. Your family can be too.
How does this work?
With world-class international channels that put the quality back in your quality time.
That's what I'm talking about.
GoTV Max will bring you and your family closer in no time. So upgrade to GoTV Max for only 2,999 Naira today. Make una enjoy. GoTV. Love it.
I bring you wonderful news. The village headmaster is coming back to your screen. Mo wire abi mi o wire.
Teacher ló mọ̀, a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Teacher jọ̀wọ́, a fẹ́ lọ wá nǹkan jẹ. Ọmọ onírẹsì ti dé.
Na better school for last gidi. Not be all this on a rugged school for Ijabi. I don't know for you.
Sega, it's called Oja Village. Kadesi. We know happy at all.
And I know that even you too, you are getting a lot of orders. Hey, we are trying, Shao. Sweep her leg out. She was standing there. Sweep it.
I love you so much.
And how did I give you the impression that I was interested in that position?
50-year anniversary.
You mean anniversary?
I mean, that's why I talk with that now.
Not for me. Not for me because of Pamio.
Thank you for staying with us. Let's slightly shift gear. The introduction of the electronic ticketing system for the Abuja-Kaduna Standard Gauge Railway is a mixed bag for some passengers, and Oyinaya Kalwaka takes us through the contents of the bag.
Situation at the Idu train station of the Abuja-Kaduna Rail as passengers scramble to get tickets. Passengers walking in casually for a ticket, they say, is likened to getting the camel to go through the eye of a needle.
We are suffering. I've been here I don't even have ticket.
They are not even selling the ticket. I don't know what is happening.
With the kickoff of the test running of the electronic tickets, a visit to the same station was quite confusing, as the usual crowded ticketing section looks different. This is the ticketing section, usually characterized by long queue, rush, struggle, and ticket racketeering. But now with this new system, you can see that there is less queue, less interaction, and ease in getting tickets.
Now, as I came, there was no line. So I think it's a very good improvement.
Very, we cannot even compare before and now.
The ticketing office machine on ground at the train station is said to be efficient, but for the mobile app and web link, passengers are complaining.
I'm not able to sign in using that particular platform. So it's a little bit of an issue now.
It seems like that website is not working well yet.
I want to assure the traveling public that we are putting everything together. Very soon everything will be okay.
The e-ticketing exercise is in 3 phases: the mobile app, the web link, and the ticketing office machine.
These 3 platforms sync together. When you book on the web platform,
The seats you see available are the same seat the ticketers at the station see.
NTA News.
While Oyenaya Kalu Hoka was at the Idu end, Ahmad Umar Kudan was at the Rigasa station of Kaduna monitoring events.
Since inauguration in 2016, Kaduna-Abuja train service has been witnessing influx of passengers. The ever-growing number of passengers brought about ticketing-related challenges with attendant queues are racketeering. Now, relief has come with the introduction of electronic ticketing, where prospective passengers can buy their tickets online from the comfort of their rooms. Sadiq Aminu is a regular train passenger along Kaduna-Abuja rail corridor. Sadiq is now among many who buy their tickets online without the usual stress.
It's very fast and easy for customers and people that want to use the train. So you don't have to follow queue, you don't have to pay more, because I even got it at a lesser price online.
I've used it twice. It's very seamless, it's very convenient. It cuts out the queues. You just go online, you book, you come, you show your booking, and you move without waste of time. So it's a very, very good step in the right direction.
Here in Kaduna, there's a lot of queue when you're coming in. People even talk about you can't get a ticket, you have to pre-book. But with the online source, it's very easy.
The impact of this initiative is now obvious at the train station, and passengers are optimistic that it will enhance efficiency, save time, and promote accountability. In Kaduna, Ahmad Umar Kudan, NTA News.
We'll talk some more with Fidet Okira via Zoom, but let's talk with Roland Atagubara in the studio here. Let's look at prospects when everything falls into shape. What are the prospects, going forward?
Prospects are great. We've got practically all the ingredients for us to get things right, but we've got to start to do the right things. I would disagree with the managing director in the sense.
Let's stay with the prospect first.
I mean, but you don't have tomorrow without yesterday.
The prospects are important. Let's go.
Yes, indeed. But then again, we're building infrastructure. Okay. That's essentially what we're doing. We need to have institutions that are robust enough to operate on this infrastructure. We can't keep things as they are and expect that things will change. They won't.
So when things change, what are we looking at in terms of prospects? Because it's a huge sector for us.
It's huge. And if you look, most of our sectors have been reformed or have undergone reform. When you talk about the big utilities like telecoms, like power, the railways has been jealously guarding the status quo, and it's time that changed. We need to restructure that industry. We must have independent regulation. The NRC cannot continue to operate and regulate itself. It's anathema to economic performance, and that is why its records continue to show that it's performing suboptimally.
Obviously, the NRC itself is awaiting for your likes to come meet them, just like the MD pointed out.
Well, we've had instances of conglomerates, international groups approaching the NRC for concessions and so on. That is always a continuing discussion, but the reality is none has struck a deal so far.
Perhaps there is a time frame to that to happen.
I don't know about time frame, but I know about, you take one look at the body language of the NRC and you know they don't want you here.
Really? Maybe we go back to Fidet Okira at the moment. If you're still there with us, the e-ticketing platform is wonderful because if you recall some of the hustles and bustles at the stations while purchasing tickets, it's not really, let's just put it by the way. But then it's a very laudable move by the NRC. Let's look at how you intend to also sustain it fortify it, and then make it a more greater achievement in all ramifications, because we are still looking for more.
The e-ticketing took not a lot of time to come on board because we want to make sure that we got it right. And what we did is to follow the concessionary route, make sure we follow the lay down procedures, going to ICRC, going to NIPDA, going to BP to make sure value is gotten for money. Eventually we get a company that was ready to invest in it, finance it, and bring it up with all the stakeholders forming a team to ensure that we deliver a system that can work, not just the way it works abroad, that will meet our culture and the basic understanding we have, and with IT knowledge, so that a lot of people can have access to it and be able to use it. We have just deployed the first phase of the e-ticketing. That is buying through your mobile phone, your system, or coming to the station at the point of sale and buy electronically. You can either pay by cash or pay by your card. The next stage is coming that we are going to deploy vending machines in the station, in the big mall, in the supermarket, so that you have agent people who cannot maybe have that on their phone can approach people in the supermarket or use the vending machine and get the ticketing. And then also to provide ensuring that people then jump on the train without having the ticket. It's the ticket that should be able to that you use to access the platform and exit the platform. For instance, the Rigasa station is going to be modeled so that it will be flawless. People can come in and leave the station without having issues, because the Rigasa station was designed not for that number of people, but since the major station that is coming up at Gatiku, which will come up on the Kaduna Kano when it starts, where you have where the big station will be constructed. But before then, we'll have to remodel Rigasa so that it can meet the people's requirements for ease of movement.
Okay.
So we have given a 10 years concession to the operator so that we put everything in place, and by the time it's existing in 10 years, if it has done well, the government may decide to renew it or hand over to the body that will be operating the rate then.
Okay.
But, however...
Okay. Fidet Okiria, we thank you indeed, and we wish you good luck. Thanks indeed. And of course, thank you, Roland Ataguba, Railway Consultant, for coming on the program tonight. Thanks.
Thank you.
Let's go on our last break. When we return, sports and more.
The late Vice Admiral Patrick Koscielny, CFR, who assumed command on 7th October 1986 as the 8th Chief of the Naval Staff, Nigerian Navy, was born in Lagos on April 17, 1943. Admiral Koscielny enlisted in the Royal Nigerian Navy on June 11, 1962, and held several positions within the Navy and later in public service: Chief Staff Officer, Western Naval Command, Flag Officer, Eastern Naval Command, and Acting Governor, Cross River State, Minister of Health, Minister of Transport and Aviation, Minister of Employment, Labour and Productivity. He retired from service in 1989. In 2011, he was awarded the CFR. Admiral Koscielny passed away on Saturday, 25th January 2020, and is fondly remembered by his family and colleagues.
Sports update is next with Olumide Eguntola.